What if the Vatican possesses secrets about life after death that could shatter everything you think you know? Imagine a reality where death isn't the end, and the answers have been locked away for centuries, guarded by one of the most powerful institutions on Earth. This isn't just about religion or philosophy. It's about your life, your fears, and your understanding of existence itself. For centuries, whispers have circulated about what truly lies within the Vatican archives, a vast collection of documents, artifacts, and forbidden knowledge accumulated over millennia. Could these archives hold proof of life after death, evidence that challenges our scientific understanding of consciousness, or even a map to navigate the afterlife itself? The possibility alone is enough to send ripples through our established belief systems. The Vatican has historically shaped our understanding of life, death, and everything in between. Throughout history, powerful institutions have controlled narratives about the afterlife to maintain power and social order. From ancient Egypt to modern-day politics, the fear of death and the promise of eternal reward have been used to manipulate and control populations. Is the Vatican any different? And if they do possess this knowledge, what implications does that have for you? The Vatican archives are a physical testament to the Church's influence and power. Spanning centuries and containing countless documents, this labyrinthine collection holds the key to understanding not just the Church's history, but potentially the very nature of our existence. Access is highly restricted, fueling speculation about what secrets lie hidden within its walls. But why is the question of life after death so significant in the first place? It strikes at the very core of our existence, shaping our values, influencing our decisions, and defining our understanding of what it means to be human. Beliefs about the afterlife offer comfort in times of grief, provide a framework for morality, and give meaning to our fleeting lives. If definitive evidence of life after death were revealed, the impact would be felt across the globe, shaking the foundations of religion, science, and individual belief systems. Imagine the paradigm shift. Religions would need to reevaluate their doctrines, science would be forced to confront the mysteries of consciousness, and individuals would grapple with a completely new understanding of their place in the universe. Confirming or denying life after death could revolutionize our understanding of consciousness itself. Is consciousness merely a product of the brain, or does it exist independently, capable of surviving physical death? The answers could lie in the intersection of quantum physics, the simulation theory, and other cutting-edge scientific ideas that challenge our materialist worldviews. This is more than just an academic debate. It's a deeply personal quest for truth. We invite you to join us as we challenge established narratives, question everything, and explore the profound mysteries that surround life, death, and the possibility of what lies beyond. The Vatican's historical role in shaping Western beliefs about death cannot be overstated. For centuries, the Church has dictated the terms of heaven, hell, and purgatory, wielding immense influence over both spiritual and secular power structures. Its teachings have shaped morality, influenced social order, and even justified political decisions. To truly understand the potential significance of the Vatican archives, we must acknowledge the Church's historical control over the narrative of death. What exactly do we mean by life after death? The concept itself is multifaceted, encompassing religious beliefs about heaven, hell, and reincarnation, philosophical arguments for dualism and materialism, and scientific investigations into near-death experiences, NDEs, and consciousness studies. Each perspective offers a unique lens through which to view this ultimate mystery, and each comes with its own set of assumptions and limitations. We'll delve into these various viewpoints, exploring the key differences and common themes that emerge. In this video, we'll embark on a journey to explore the key areas that might hold clues to the afterlife, the Vatican archives, near-death experiences, reincarnation, and the possibility of suppressed knowledge. Do these areas intersect? Do they provide evidence that supports the existence of life after death? These are the questions that will guide our investigation. We'll also examine the cyclical arguments between science and spirituality regarding the nature of consciousness and reality. This contrast will highlight the tensions between verifiable fact and faith-based assumptions, forcing us to confront our own biases and preconceptions. But if the Vatican does possess evidence of life after death, why haven't they shared it? What are they afraid of? What would you do with such information? Are they protecting religious doctrine, preventing societal chaos, maintaining power, or is there another reason entirely? We will explore these theories, delve into personal stories, and examine leaked documents to get to the bottom of this. The search for truth about the afterlife is not just a historical and philosophical one. It's a deeply personal journey. Prepare to confront your own beliefs, challenge your assumptions, and grapple with the ultimate mystery of existence as we uncover the secrets that may lie hidden within the Vatican's classified files. And we're just getting started. So, what's it really like to try and crack open the Vatican's vault of secrets? The romanticized image of a researcher stumbling upon earth-shattering revelations is far from the truth. In reality, gaining access to the Vatican archives is a complex, bureaucratic labyrinth. Imagine submitting a detailed application, meticulously outlining your research topic, and providing credentials that would impress even the most discerning academic. Even then, access is granted selectively, and often limited to specific collections and time periods. It's less about uncovering a single, explosive secret, and more about patiently piecing together fragments of information from carefully curated sources. Think of it as trying to build a complete picture using only a handful of randomly selected puzzle pieces. And speaking of puzzles, the Vatican archives themselves are often shrouded in misconception. It's easy to imagine dusty, ancient tomes filled with forbidden knowledge, but the reality is far more nuanced. While the archives do contain priceless historical documents dating back centuries, much of the collection consists of administrative records, correspondence, and other mundane materials. It's not entirely off-limits, though. Certain collections are indeed open to qualified researchers, providing valuable insights into the history of the Church and its interactions with the world. However, rumors persist of hidden vaults and classified files, sections of the archives that remain firmly off-limits to outsiders. What could be in those areas, and why are they so carefully guarded? This brings us to the concept of controlled release of information. The Vatican, like any powerful institution, understands the importance of managing its public image. Could it be that certain documents are strategically released to shape public perception, while others are deliberately withheld to protect its interests? Consider how the Church has historically used carefully selected public statements and historical narratives to maintain its authority and influence. What if the same principle applies to the archives? What if the Vatican is actively shaping the narrative around its own history, carefully controlling what the world gets to see? Let's play a what-if game. What if some documents are intentionally kept out of reach because their contents could disrupt faith, challenge existing power structures, or destabilize society as we know it? Imagine documents that challenge core doctrines, reveal compromising historical events, or support alternative theories about the nature of reality. Perhaps there are records of suppressed scientific discoveries, evidence of extraterrestrial contact, or even proof of a radically different understanding of consciousness. The possibilities are endless, and the implications are staggering. If such documents exist, the Vatican's decision to keep them hidden would raise profound ethical questions. Now, let's turn to the big question. What do we even mean by life after death? Religious perspectives offer a multitude of answers. Christianity speaks of heaven and hell, destinations determined by one's actions and beliefs in this lifetime. Buddhism proposes a cycle of reincarnation, where the soul is reborn into new lives based on karma. Hinduism offers the concept of moksha, liberation from the cycle of rebirth and union with the divine. Each faith provides a unique vision of what awaits us after death, shaped by its own cultural and historical context. The sheer diversity of these beliefs underscores the complexity of the question and the lack of a universally accepted answer. Philosophy, too, grapples with the enigma of life after death. Dualism, the belief that the mind and body are separate entities, suggests that consciousness can survive physical death. Thinkers like Plato and Descartes have championed this view, arguing that the soul is immortal and capable of existing independently of the body. Materialism, on the other hand, asserts that consciousness is solely a product of the brain, and that death marks the end of individual existence. Philosophers like Daniel Dennett argue that there is no soul, no afterlife, and no reason to believe in anything beyond the physical realm. This philosophical debate highlights the fundamental conflict between those who believe in a spiritual reality and those who adhere to a purely materialist worldview. But what about science? Can scientific methods shed light on the possibility of life after death? Researchers have explored near-death experiences, NDEs, brain activity during death, and quantum theories of consciousness in an attempt to unravel this mystery. Studies on NDEs have revealed intriguing correlations between brain activity and subjective experiences, such as out-of-body sensations and encounters with light. Some scientists propose that quantum entanglement could explain how consciousness might exist beyond the physical body. However, these scientific investigations are often met with skepticism, as they struggle to reconcile subjective experiences with objective data. This brings us to a crucial point. What constitutes evidence in the context of life after death? Subjective experiences, anecdotal accounts, and verifiable, objective data all offer different forms of information, but they must be critically examined. While personal stories of NDEs or past life memories can be compelling, they lack the rigor of scientific proof. Objective data, such as brain scans or physiological measurements, can provide valuable insights, but they cannot definitively prove or disprove the existence of an afterlife. The challenge lies in finding a way to bridge the gap between subjective experience and objective observation, to develop methods for studying consciousness that respect both its mystery and its complexity. Let's start to explore the evidence by considering near-death experiences. NDEs often share common features. Individuals report out-of-body experiences, a sense of floating through a tunnel, seeing a bright light, and experiencing a review of their life. These experiences can be incredibly profound, leading to lasting changes in beliefs and values. But are they evidence of life after death, or simply the result of brain activity under extreme stress? Scientific explanations suggest that NDEs could be caused by brain hypoxia, oxygen deprivation, the release of endorphins, or other neurological phenomena. While these explanations may account for some aspects of NDEs, they don't fully explain the complex and consistent patterns reported by individuals across different cultures and backgrounds. What about claims of reincarnation? Some children claim to remember past lives, providing detailed accounts of events and people they could not have known otherwise. These cases can be intriguing, but the evidence is largely anecdotal and difficult to verify. Skeptics suggest that such claims could be the result of cryptomnesia, unconscious recall of forgotten memories, genetic memory, or simply the power of suggestion. Consider the case of a young child who accurately described the life and death of a World War II pilot, including details about his plane and his final mission. While such cases are fascinating, it's important to acknowledge the potential for alternative explanations. How can we distinguish between genuine memories of past lives and the influence of suggestion, imagination, or even unconscious fraud? And then there are other anomalous phenomena often cited as evidence of life after death: mediumship, apparitions, and electronic voice phenomena, EVP. Mediums claim to communicate with the spirits of the deceased, relaying messages and providing comfort to the bereaved. Apparitions, or ghostly sightings, have been reported throughout history and across cultures. EVP involves capturing seemingly paranormal voices on electronic recording devices. While these phenomena may be compelling to some, they lack scientific consensus and are often dismissed as the result of fraud, misinterpretation, or psychological factors. The history of spiritualism and mediumship is rife with examples of deception and exploitation, highlighting the need for critical thinking and careful investigation. But even with skepticism, it's interesting to perform pattern analysis across these experiences. When we examine NDEs, reincarnation claims, and anomalous phenomena, do we find any recurring patterns? Are there common themes, symbols, or narratives that emerge across different cultures and time periods? For example, the prevalence of light and tunnel imagery in NDEs across different cultures could suggest a possible neurological or psychological basis for these experiences. Similarly, certain symbols and archetypes may appear repeatedly in reincarnation stories, pointing to shared cultural beliefs or psychological predispositions. By analyzing these patterns, we can gain a deeper understanding of the human experience of death and the afterlife, even if we cannot definitively prove or disprove its existence. So, let's return to the central question. Why would the Vatican conceal evidence of life after death? One theory centers on power preservation. For centuries, the Church has held immense authority over religious doctrine, shaping beliefs and influencing behavior. Acknowledging definitive proof of life after death could undermine the Church's unique role as mediator between humanity and the divine. If the afterlife were proven to be accessible to all, regardless of religious affiliation, the Church's power and influence could diminish significantly. The Church's historical emphasis on sin, redemption, and the afterlife has been a powerful tool for influencing behavior and maintaining social order. What would happen if that tool were rendered obsolete? Another possibility is doctrinal protection. Certain findings could contradict fundamental tenets of Catholic theology, leading to a crisis of faith and a loss of followers. Imagine, for instance, that evidence of reincarnation were discovered, challenging the Christian belief in a single lifetime followed by eternal judgment. Or perhaps a radically different concept of the soul might emerge, undermining the Church's teachings on salvation and redemption. Such revelations could shake the foundations of Christian belief and create widespread confusion and doubt. From the Church's perspective, protecting its core doctrines may be seen as essential for preserving its identity and maintaining its spiritual authority. And what about the potential for societal instability? Some argue that revealing definitive proof of life after death could cause widespread panic, societal upheaval, or a collapse of moral values. If the fear of death were removed, might people become reckless or nihilistic? Could the devaluation of earthly life lead to chaos and disorder? While this scenario may seem far-fetched, it raises important questions about the psychological and social impact of such a profound revelation. Would society be able to handle the truth about the afterlife, or would it descend into anarchy? However, let's also consider alternative explanations for the Vatican's alleged secrecy. Perhaps the Church is simply cautious about endorsing unsubstantiated claims or protecting its own image. The Vatican might be wary of being accused of promoting superstition or false hope, especially in an age of scientific skepticism. The Church's emphasis on reason and critical thinking could also explain its reluctance to embrace unproven theories about the afterlife. From this perspective, the Vatican's caution may be seen as a responsible approach to a complex and sensitive issue. Ultimately, whether or not the Vatican possesses hidden knowledge about life after death, the question itself offers a powerful opportunity for personal growth and self-discovery. Even if we never find definitive answers, the search for truth can lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. This begins by acknowledging the common fear of death and dying. Death anxiety is a natural human emotion, rooted in our fear of the unknown. our fear of suffering, and our fear of loss. This fear can have a profound impact on our lives, shaping our decisions, influencing our relationships, and coloring our overall outlook on the world. How can we confront this fear and live more fully in the face of mortality? One powerful tool is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment, observing our thoughts and feelings without getting carried away by them. By practicing mindfulness, we can learn to accept the reality of impermanence, the understanding that everything is constantly changing, and that death is an inevitable part of life. The Buddhist concept of impermanence encourages us to appreciate the preciousness of each moment and to let go of our attachments to things that will eventually fade away. Take a moment now to simply observe your breath, noticing the rise and fall of your chest. Acknowledge any thoughts or feelings that arise about death without trying to push them away. Simply observe them and let them pass, like clouds in the sky. And even more importantly, find meaning and purpose in your life, regardless of your beliefs about the afterlife. Living a life of love, compassion, and service can provide comfort and fulfillment in the face of mortality. Share stories of individuals who have found peace and meaning through acts of kindness, creative expression, or spiritual exploration. Consider the example of a hospice volunteer who finds solace in helping others face death with dignity and grace. Or think of an artist who creates beautiful works of art that inspire and uplift others. By focusing on making a positive impact on the world, we can transcend our fear of death and create a lasting legacy that extends beyond our own lifetimes. Ultimately, it's up to you to form your own beliefs about life after death, based on your own experiences, reasoning, and intuition. Explore different perspectives, question your assumptions, and be open to changing your mind as you learn and grow. There is no single right answer, and what resonates with one person may not resonate with another. Embrace the mystery, embrace the uncertainty, and embrace the freedom to create your own personal narrative about life, death, and everything in between. Explore different perspectives on death and the afterlife, and to be open to changing their beliefs as they learn and grow. The journey of discovery is just beginning. We've reached a point where you get to determine your own personal narrative about life, death, and everything in between. And as you might suspect, the answer to whether the Vatican has proof of life after death isn't a simple yes or no. What we've discovered, however, is perhaps more profound than a simple confirmation or denial, as the true secret is not locked away in the Vatican archives. Instead, it lies within your own capacity for critical thought and spiritual exploration. Whether or not there's definitive proof awaiting discovery, the journey you've taken has the potential to shift your perspective and change how you live your life from this moment forward. The act of questioning and seeking understanding is what ultimately transforms our perspective on life and death, more so than any definitive answer ever could. The questions we've explored aren't new, but they've echoed through time, with humans grappling with death and the afterlife since the dawn of consciousness, all in search of meaning, purpose, and understanding our mortality. The true power lies not merely in accepting fact or blindly following faith, but in how you wield the knowledge you've gained. Think of science as a tool to dissect the material world, to alleviate suffering and extend life, but it can also be used to create weapons of destruction, sowing fear and division. Spirituality, conversely, can be a source of immense comfort, offering solace in times of grief and inspiring acts of compassion, but it can also be twisted to justify violence and oppression. So, the real power resides in your conscious choices, in using both science and spirituality as tools for empowerment, for fostering understanding, and for creating a world where both life and death are approached with wisdom and compassion. The implications of embracing uncertainty about the afterlife are vast and potentially transformative. Instead of fearing the unknown, you can find liberation in accepting it, allowing you to focus on living fully in the present, cherishing your relationships, and making a positive impact on the world around you. By confronting our mortality and questioning our deepest held beliefs, we can transform our understanding of what it means to be alive, regardless of what comes next. Staring into the face of death allows us to gain a clearer vision of life, and by letting go of the need for certainty, you open yourself up to a world of infinite possibilities, enriching your present with a newfound sense of purpose. Although we may not have unlocked the Vatican's secrets, we've gained a deeper understanding of how institutions control narratives and shape our understanding of reality. Therefore, we can use this to remember that it's not about banishing fear of the unknown, but transforming our relationship with it. Understand that death is a part of being human, and knowledge empowers us to face it with courage and acceptance. The question of life after death is a deeply personal one, where only you can decide what you believe by integrating your experiences, reasoning, and intuition to form your own personal beliefs. As you consider all of this, embrace the exploration, challenge your assumptions, and never stop seeking the truth, as the search for answers is a lifelong journey. As you journey forward, consider that if death is not the end, what does that mean for our understanding of the universe? How does that change the way we live our lives? Delve into the science of consciousness, the philosophy of existence, and the practices of mindfulness and meditation, and continue your exploration. Most importantly, what are your thoughts on life after death? Share your experiences and beliefs in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation. In future videos, we'll explore the mysteries of consciousness, the secrets of ancient civilizations, and the power of the human mind.